everybody, and welcome to tonight's show, our Spartan Sports Report. And it's a big week here at CHS. The boys are getting ready to go, and here to talk about it is Athletics Director Brent Duncan. Sam, we want to welcome Brent.
Oh, always nice to have Brent here.
Well, I appreciate you having me back. So it's good to be here.
Okay, talk about Wednesday. Tickets on sale?
We'll be Wednesday at the door. So we don't really sell pre-sale tickets. I'm not saying if you came out to office, I wouldn't sell them, but that just creates a little bit more havoc for all of us in paper trail. So we'll open the gates about 5 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, and hoping to see about 5,400 people sitting in the bleachers on Wednesday night.
I think we'll have a full house again.
Oh, I don't have a doubt. It's a great time with everybody back for Thanksgiving, and it's the right time. And Union County is going to bring a big crowd as normal, and you'll see their dribblers dribbling across State Road 44 like they have for however many years with those basketballs. So it's supposed to be a little cold, but I don't know if it's going to be rainy, so hopefully it'll be good weather for them, and hope it'll be a great atmosphere in the Spartan Bowl come Wednesday night.
6 o'clock, JV kicks off.
6 o'clock, JV starts. I hope they have a good season. They got a lot of the sophomore kids that went 21-2 as freshmen, so a lot of promise in that class, but that scary word P for promise and potential sometimes can bite you. So it's all about dedication, how much time they want to put in to make themselves better in the next couple of years. So.
And the varsity falls at 7:30, so I know everybody's anxious. They've been waiting since last March, probably, for Wednesday and the boys' season to begin.
Yeah, I think, I saw them play Saturday in a scrimmage at Knightstown. I saw some promising things, but of course, it's a new mix. So a lot of kids who haven't had a lot of experience, and some kids who got a little bit towards the end. And obviously, we don't have a 6'6" kid and a couple 6'4" kids standing in the middle, but Kerry's going to have them prepared to come out Wednesday night
I'm sure he will.
And ready to play. So I don't doubt that in any stretch of my imagination. He won't have them prepared. Might be a little different style of basketball, but they also got him down the floor a little bit Saturday at Knightstown. So we'll wait and see what comes out Wednesday night.
Union County has a first-year coach.
Yeah, off my head, I won't know his name. Don't know what kind of system he's going to run. Of course, you can't go scout him, so nobody's seen him right now, so it's all mystery, and we'll see what they bring across the 12 miles to.
He was an assistant, wasn't he, at Union County, and he was kicked up to
I believe so.
Spot, yes.
I think that's right.
Yes.
So I don't know if they'll change the style. I know they have a decent class coming in, and if they'll keep it the same, or maybe just put some tweaks on it to put his own stamp on it.
Right, because I'm sure he's well accustomed to these kids, that he's been in the coaching system at Union County.
Oh, absolutely. And, working under Detweiler, Mark had a great system and a great program, had some really good teams over there, and we'll get to see him on Saturday night. But I don't know what the new coach will do, so it's always interesting.
Well, as I remember, Sam, they only had one senior on their starting lineup. So that was a guard, I believe. So had 4 kids back.
And it's a game that, even though it's the first game of the season, it's one that they have circled on the calendar, that they love to come over here, and they're generally competitive. So
absolutely,
Spartans will have to be on top of their game, really here to start with, right off the bat.
Union County won, 5-6 years ago, something like that.
It's coach's first year, give or take, somewhere in there. But, it'll be a different mix for us. We really just have Garrett, Silcott, and Noah Belt come back with a lot of playing experience. Dalton Lee got a little bit there towards the end.
And Braxton played a little bit.
Braxton, but the rest of them, it's going to be a new experience for all of them.
Sure,
so
they'll be moving up on the JV team.
A little bit of recognition, though, preseason poll.
I saw that.
16th in 4A, so I think that's a credit to our program right there, and maybe based on past performance. But on the other hand, you've got a coach that helped coach the All-Stars, and the tradition and all that we have here. I think that's fitting for the Spartans to, and a nice honor to be recognized early in the season.
Well, there are over 100 teams in the 4A class, so that's great to be that high up. So I'm sure that'll be an incentive for the kids to play up to that.
Well, let's hope so. Hopefully they just don't look at that and say, we're really good, and forget to make our mark on our own. Because, every year it's a different team, different squad, and Lord knows we've seen Kerry coach very many styles of basketball, and trying to get our kids ready to play. And that's
a great thing about him, that he can adjust.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's what respect you coach.
Very much so.
Yes,
I'd say that
I think so. You talk to visiting coaches, and they have a lot of respect for Kerry and everything. So that bodes well. This week in sports, we might talk a little bit about what's coming up. Today, the freshman boys basketball team is opening their season, meeting Greensburg at the high school gym, so that should be interesting. And tomorrow, the girls basketball team will be opening their Eastern Indiana Athletic Conference play at Batesville. Wednesday, of course, we're talking about the boys basketball with Union County at Spartan Bowl opening the season. And the Saturday, the Spartans host Delta at the Bowl in another high school basketball game. The Delta Eagles, the Blue and Golds, as you said, Mark Detweiler moved from Union County to Delta. So it'll be a competitive game.
Well, he'll do a good job. I'm not sure what they have come back. They're really strong in the early of the year last year, and they kind of fell off as the season went along. But new coach, new philosophy. I was going to add one more. There's actually a freshman girls game tonight as well.
Oh, okay.
We weren't sure we were going to have enough. We have enough for a freshman team, so it's actually a boy-girl doubleheader at the high school night at 6. So the girls will play at 6, and the freshman boys will play right after them tonight. So we're able to fill that. So
that's good that you had enough for the girls.
We've been short a few times in the past few years, but we've got some numbers out now. So there's 6 or 7 that are probably strictly on the freshmen right now with the possibility of moving up. But a lot of schools anymore will have a C team, so we may have a sprinkling of some of the JV girls going down every now and then just to be a part of that as well. So get their feet wet tonight to see what their coach, Mr. Russell's running that tonight. So we'll find out how it goes here in a little while.
Very good.
Yeah, I was going to tell you a story about Detweiler. He's been at Union County and I can't remember who was.
I think it was 17 years, I believe, he was a coach at Union County.
Their athletic director and I had lunch together one day last week, and he told me a story. He said, Mark said, I've had to open up for 16 consecutive years in Spartan Bowl. I take a new job, and my first game at my new school is I got to go open up in Spartan Bowl again. So just kind of ironic that we happened to pick him up last year when he was not there, and then he moved there, and he's coming back to start the year. So now he's 17 years in a row he can open up at Spartan Bowl.
Well, that's.
I'm sure
we'll be glad to welcome him. He's a gentleman.
He's familiar with the end. He knows where to sit.
That's right. That's right. He knows where the locker rooms are and everything. But he's a good coach. Those kids are always well prepared when they would come to Connersville.
Yeah, and he'll do the same kind of job at Delta once he gets the system established and moving in the right direction. So
they had a pretty good season last year. They were 13-13. 2 of their wins were in the sectional before they were knocked off by Northeastern in the Class 2A sectional. So I'm sure they'll be a strong team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the Spartans will have their hands full, I think.
Oh yes,
so, should be very good. After this week, the girls I think are off until Greensburg and a Saturday afternoon game on December.
They play this tomorrow night, and then they play next Tuesday against Union County.
Okay, and then they'll be back home.
Right.
Okay,
so they're off over the holiday weekend.
They're on the road a couple games. Okay, that's an afternoon game with Greensburg, and then the boys play at night, don't they?
Correct.
Against Shelbyville.
Yes, that's on December the 2nd.
I think so. Saturday.
It's kind of that day's kind of South Central Conference deja vu.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Greensburg in the South Central one time?
Yes, they were.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They used to be
part of my time.
Used to be part of the New Year's Day tourney.
So. Yeah. Shelbyville, Rushville, Greensburg, Connersville.
Mm-hmm.
See, Greensburg was out when I got here already. So.
Right.
Yeah. By then we'd picked up another Bloomington school.
Bloomington North, Bloomington South, Martinsville, Seymour.
Yeah.
They were all in there.
Yeah. It was a good one. It's a good one we have now, but
it is.
But I liked the old South Central Conference. They just
you're the traditionalist.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, we had to travel to Jeffersonville. It was a long trip for a game.
Couple-hour drive. So.
Yeah.
Then we went the opposite direction in the Olympic Conference and went to
Huntington. I think that was worse.
Not either a good way to get to either one of those two places.
Well, the girls had a couple of ball games last week. They looked good on Friday night against the Centerville Bulldogs. Cut down on the turnovers, Sam and Brent. I mean, Michael Thompson was very happy and very pleased with the girls on Friday night. They took care of the Bulldogs. Very good game, brought the season up to 2-2, and that was a good mark, but it didn't last very long, Sam.
No, it didn't. Went to Anderson on Saturday night and in that weather, and it didn't bode well for us getting there or the game itself. But Anderson, very physical team, and some quickness. Just seemed like layup after layup after layup, they were able to break free and cut down on turnovers once again. I forget what I had them for, like maybe 16 for the game, which wasn't bad.
No.
And I think that they held on. I'm trying to think about my stats that I kept. That rebounding wise, we were pretty close with them, but shots weren't dropping, and they were for Anderson. But Anderson just able to blow by us, it seemed like, and take it in for the easy layups, time and time again.
They were quicker than us by far.
Were they?
You know, I think at one time they were 20 or 26 or something like that. Somebody told me from the field, and
Right.
you know how it is in basketball when the score's going the wrong way. Instead of going faster, you got to go slower. And sometimes it seems like our girls tried to speed up just as fast as they were going, and we needed to slow it down. And shots didn't fall for us.
First period, I thought we hung tough. We were down after one, but I thought we played well in the first period.
Second quarter just south.
Yeah.
So we played their games. I mean,
I think we fell in the way they wanted to play. They picked the tempo up on us.
Yes.
And they just they had a couple girls that just able to muscle their way in. Took up a lot of room in the middle, and
We didn't have anybody look like them.
no, we didn't have anybody that could match their size.
Yeah. What kind of attendance was there?
Well, we had probably as many people there as they did,
Really?
which is typical Connersville, boys or girls. That,
They follow the team.
But it wasn't, it wasn't
It
too
was
bad.
better than it was 2 years ago from their side when we went there. I think there were maybe 40 in the stands from their place last time we were there.
Gee.
They had fans behind their bench, and
Right.
probably 30 or 40 across the way. So.
And for the weather conditions, it wasn't too bad.
Yes, that probably was a contributing factor to
It was raining pretty hard time we got to Madison County as well.
Yeah, it was pouring when we looked out of the Knightstown gym. So.
Okay, Batesville. Girls go to Batesville tomorrow night, as we mentioned earlier. They start the Eastern Indiana Athletic Conference play. The Lady Bulldogs are 3-2. They have victories over Union County, North Decatur, and South Dearborn, and they have lost to South Ripley and to Seymour.
Well, won't be easy. It's never easy when we go to Batesville. Seems like boys or girls, it's never easy down there.
Yes.
But they're going to be a formidable opponent. But I think it's one that the Lady Spartans can come home with a win, and it'd be very important to open conference play. First conference game of the year on the road. To come home a winner would build some confidence going into the next few weeks.
When we had Michael on the program earlier, I think, did he name Batesville along with Greensburg as maybe some of the stronger teams in the conference?
Yeah, I'd say Batesville, Greensburg, of course, East Central's tall and big, so I would say those three are right.
And Rushville's always.
Rushville will be physical.
Although they dropped 2 over the weekend. Lost in overtime at Mount Vernon, and they lost big at Plainfield.
Yeah, so they're.
And I think they were ranked preseason.
I think so, because they were 7-0 from last year, I believe, and I think they won the conference last year.
Yeah, Rushville did win the conference.
This is how some of the area girls basketball teams are doing. Union County is 2-3. They lost last game to Franklin County and play Tuesday at Oldenburg Academy. Cambridge City Lincoln is 2-1. They won over Seton Catholic and plays at Centerville Tuesday. Franklin County 5-0. They won over Union County, and Wednesday plays at Lawrenceburg. Rushville is 2-3, lost to Plainfield. Next game will be Tuesday at South Dearborn. Richmond is 3-2. They defeated Logansport in their last game and go to Union City on Tuesday. And Centerville is 2-4. They won over Knightstown, their home Tuesday to Cambridge City. Brent, the only team that the Spartans don't play is Cambridge City on that list. So.
Yeah, so hopefully
all of them are doing pretty well.
Yeah, I think if you look at all our schedules, boys and girls, as far as basketball goes, they're all both really good basketball schedules. Huh? Sometimes they say they're too hard, but in order to get down that road to victory in March and February for the girls, you want to be playing some competition during the season to prepare yourself for the tournament time. So.
I like how the boys' schedule has been beefed up and is going to continue to be. Is it next year that Lawrence North comes on, and and
Centerville.
Centerville.
It's the last year for Centerville.
Last year for Centerville. So,
And then-
so that's a big trade there.
Yeah, you know, we've had some success, and as long as we can continue to get to that regional round, we got to see some of those suburban schools out of Indianapolis that we're going to face in the second round. Where in the past you might have faced them in the semi-state or the state finals. Now they're in your second round of the regional, you know, opening game, and so we have to put some of those on those schedules just so our kids understand how to play against that kind of competition.
Sure.
You know, Lawrence North's going to be if Kiefer's there, they're always going to have a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as he's coaching, and he's been their only coach since the opening of the school.
Yeah.
Like 40, is it 40 years maybe? Is it?
I'd have to go back and look. I know a little bit about him. I went to high school at Madison Grant, and the arch rival was Oak Hill, and Jack was the coach at Oak Hill High School prior to coming to Lawrence North.
Okay.
So I graduated in '79, and he was probably left just before I got out of school or right in that time. So he's been there for a while.
Yeah, yeah. He's
One of former coach Howard Renner's favorites. He used to tell some
There's
stories.
no love lost there.
No, there
that's
wasn't.
for sure.
Of course, Howard was just a few blocks away at Cathedral.
He never did anything that Jack did, so they both probably have their own set of stories about
They
each
probably did.
last Thursday, were you or any chance at the Spartan Arena when the 7th and 8th graders opened their season with Union County?
I was not there last Thursday.
I just was interested in the scores. The 8th graders won 46-25, and the 7th graders won 74-10. Now, how can you score 74 points with 6-minute quarters? I mean, you figure that out per
I've seen
minute,
it
how many
before.
points.
You're right. It's,
I mean,
a little over 3 a minute for the whole game. So,
that's almost unreal. I mean,
yeah, it makes you worry about what you're playing and you know for the other school and the talent level.
right, you felt for those Union County kids, but still.
But you can't tell your kids not to
No,
play.
that's right.
No, and then the unfortunate part is if your bottom, let's say the bottom 5, I don't know who that would be, are better than the other one's starting 5. It doesn't make a difference when
That's
you sub.
right.
You're not going to tell your kids not to go in and play. Now, you don't
Absolutely.
have to press, and I really don't think they were pressing after about the first half of the first quarter, is from what I understood. So you can't tell your kids to go in and not try.
No, that's but
that's even more embarrassing than trying and getting beat fairly bad, in my opinion, when the kids are not trying to score.
yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting to see that kind of a score out of 7th graders. He's a kid, what, 12 and 13?
Yeah.
So,
And and Kerry's done a good job with his youth league kids. So they're now starting to get to that level from when he got here, as
Yes.
they were kindergartners or so forth. So they've been in that system and the teaching of the skill level and the coaches that we've got in place, and that's going to benefit us overall. And of course, sometimes you just get nice and got a great class of kids, and I don't know them all yet because they're just now 7th graders.
Sure.
So maybe there's just a good athletic group of kids coming in that love to play basketball too. I don't know. So.
we have to understand it's in cycles, isn't it? I mean, you can hit a dry spell and not have
I
great
think you look at
talent.
Look at our girls program in the past. I mean, for a decade, we were pretty good at every girls sport we participated in with the kids that were coming through. Then we kind of, I don't know if that causes younger girls to say, well, I can't get better than them, or boys or whatever, and then they cycle off and it goes back around. And we kind of run it down low, and then we're kind of going back up now. And then the boys have gone through that, where we've
Absolutely
been on the bottom of that circle, and now we're.
But I look at it like with the boys, the success we've had the last 3 or 4 years and have played well, that those kids, the grade school kids that come to the bowl to watch them play, think, hey, I want to be when I get a little bigger, I want to be like them. I want to play hard. I want to play basketball for the Connersville Spartans, and hopefully that is their attitude, that they see that and they want to be like that.
Sure, you hope that's not only the success of the boys team does it for the younger kids as boys, but also for the girls. And I'm sure when April came through, it spurred a lot of people on both genders. But basketball and some of the team sports are so different than like football, where you got to have numbers, or track where you need numbers, and swimming where you need numbers. In a lot of sports, you can get 2 or 3 kids from a class, and you can be pretty successful as far as if you get 3 kids out of each class or 4 kids out of each class, you can make a pretty good varsity squad in certain sports. So, but you hope to develop them all the way down from 7th grade on up, and even into the elementary school. So,
We've got 3 doubleheaders this year, I believe. The Spartans, two at home and 1 away on December 19th. The first one will be Greenfield Central with the girls and boys varsity teams playing. Girls at 6 and the boys follow, and then
Correct.
the JV teams, they play.
They play over in the arena on that night.
Okay.
So we'll play the boys first, JV, and then they'll be followed by the girls JV in the arena that night.
You think this is a coming thing?
I don't know. We've done it with Greenfield for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now, I'm guessing.
Doing that, yes.
This year we actually did it with South Dearborn. We'll play down to South Dearborn, I think, December 15th. And then the other one's kind of an unusual boy-girl doubleheader, but it's going to happen in January. So the girls will be playing Garin Catholic the same night the boys play Muncie Central. So it's, it'll be a little different. So I don't know. There's a few teams that do that. I don't know that it'll be a trend. I don't know if it enhances your gate or cuts down, but it definitely takes away a varsity home game for the girls or a varsity home game for the boys separate, where you got a chance for a better gate at the door, or maybe this draws more people to the door. I don't know. So
several years ago, the issue was brought up that the girls are not treated equally with the boys. So is this an answer to that?
Well, I think it could be, but it's not. It's not the reason why we did it. So
okay.
I think if you look around the state and you look at the schedules, I would say our girls are fairly close to the boys on the number of what they call primetime games on weeknights, or where there's no school the next day, or weekend days. So we've really tried to focus on that, make sure that we're not way out of balance on that. And it got shifted a little bit this year just because we've lost some teams on the boys, and the people we want to pick up, the only dates they had were certain dates. So we'll make some more adjustments in the next year and try to get them all back to within a certain amount of games of each other. And we'll go. If we could get them all towards the weekend, that would be great. But
you think the association will ever get involved in that?
No, I don't think they want to make that call. Just
okay.
listening to them. But we still have some groups in our area that girls basketball in the past has always been a Saturday afternoon affair, and that's in some of our schools that we play. Even will say they know that's Lady so and so's game day, and that makes their crowd better because they know it's there. But that kind of hurts you to schedule a Friday night game, then you got to turn around and play a Saturday afternoon game. Most of us aren't going to do that. So that if you have a Saturday afternoon game, that takes away a Friday night for the girls. We try to avoid that as much as possible. And we actually have a couple where our girls are playing on Friday night and the boys are playing on Friday night, but not every school wants to do that. So you can't force their hand, and you can't drop them if they're in your conference or whatever. So you try to do your best you can to get them as many on those primetime days as you can, and you want them to be just the same as it is with the boys. So
right.
It's always a constant battle of working those schedules around.
With the girls' schedule starting about a month sooner, and now having been moved up, there's opportunity there where, up until, so far the girls have played, they played on a Thursday night to open up, but it's been Friday and Saturday nights.
Yeah, and then you go back to your coaches. Not every coach wants to play doubleheader Friday, Saturday for the first 3 weeks and get all those in, because then you got almost 1/3 of your season done in 3 weeks, and you still got a long time to go. But it's always a constant thing, and I know they moved the girls up a week because now there's exactly the same amount of days in the girls' schedule from beginning to end as there is in the boys' schedule from beginning to end, and in the past that wasn't the same. So
and it keeps from having the overlap in the state tournament then as well.
Yeah, part of the problem was there's only so many officiating crews throughout the state, and then if you play the boys' sectional on the same night as you're playing the girls' state final, you're losing at least 4 quality crews to go work the state finals. And if they want to work the boys, then you're not maybe getting what you need in the girls' state finals either. So plus, it doesn't split the media where they need to be on that day. Sometimes, and depending on where you're at, ours does a good job of covering both boys and girls, but if they had to pick between a boys' sectional final that was between two ranked teams and the girls' state finals, which one would they cover? That has been the question in the past that's been thrown out by the IHSA, so that eliminates that situation where there's no doubt it's girls' state finals weekend, and that's where everybody's focus should be.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Which is the way it should be.
Absolutely. Speaking of the postseason, it'll be the Spartans hosting the girls' sectional.
Yeah, well, we're going to host the girls' sectional for the first time in probably 5 or 6 years, if I can remember. The last time I hosted it just snowed terribly on the sectional finals game, and or the semifinals game. And all 4 schools said they could make it, so we just had it. But it was not a nice night, but that'll be January 30th is the opening night, and then we'll play, I think it's February 2nd and February 3rd for the semifinals and the finals. So
I know everybody will be happy to have a sectional here at the Bowl.
Yeah, it's a great venue, and
Absolutely, it should be used.
If we could get it packed and full for those 3 nights, it doesn't benefit us other than concessions, which is great. But it's good for everybody to have that atmosphere.
And the sectional teams will be coming in maybe a lot like at Newcastle last year, but a little bit of a difference, won't there be? Because no, the Newcastle didn't. They hosted the boys. The girls was at
Greenfield last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
What teams will be moving in?
Well, everybody's the same except for Newcastle dropped out.
Okay.
So it's Richmond and I won't throw them all off the top of my head. Greenfield, Mount Vernon, Pendleton, and then New Pal's taking the place of Newcastle.
Okay.
Since Newcastle
Richmond,
dropped
did you say Richmond?
I think I got Richmond. So there's 6 of us all together. So.
Yeah.
Should be an interesting week. Wrestling's coming up, swimming's coming up.
Yeah, wrestling started this past weekend. They wrestled at Newcastle. I even emailed the Newcastle AD today. Says I haven't seen any results from the weekend yet, so not sure exactly how our guys did. Because I didn't get anything from my coach, and I didn't get anything from Newcastle. Usually the AD sends out the results, and I kept looking for them today. And I even got on track wrestling and couldn't find it, which they use a thing called track wrestling. So
Sure.
Swimming's getting ready to start, and won't be long. Gymnastics actually have open practice today for the first time. So.
Okay, but they don't start till after the first of the year.
We'll have a preview in December,
Right.
which is just ourselves, and then we won't have our first match until sometime in the 1st of January.
Wrestling and swimming teams, what do the coaches think?
Well, we got about 19 kids wrestling, so we've gained a few over the last
Good.
couple of years. We've lost a couple for whatever reasons. There's some that one's hurt, and one said they needed to get a job, so you never know what happens once they get a little older and things change in their lives. So
Sure.
got a couple girls wrestling again this year, and so they're getting ready to make a trip to Homestead this weekend for Super Duels. So that'll be a first trip for us to go up to Fort Wayne area to wrestle. So it won't be long. You'll be thinking a month from now it'll be the Classic. So
That's right.
and then of course, swimming. It's about depth. We've got 3 senior girls, and if I remember right, 6 senior boys or 7 senior boys. I can't remember. I wrote them down, but 5, I think, if I get to the end. But
Yeah, I think just one senior girl was graduated, didn't she, last year?
yeah,
One senior.
Carly Templeton, I think, was the only senior girl last year. But we've got Macy Weiler and Katie Cooley and Stevie Myers, and then of course, if you want to know the senior boys, I'll have to cheat off the top of my head. I wrote them down.
Go ahead.
Got James Smith and Peyton Kiefaber and Zane Spurlock and Nick Flug and Mason Stevens. Those are the ones that are the senior boys.
Yeah, I know Daryl's expecting a lot out of his swimmers this year.
Yeah, and I don't know the total numbers, but you got to have some depth in swimming. They're going to change the conference scoring, so depth is going to help you if you got some scoring. They're going to score more kids in the conference meet. Last year they scored 6. This year you're going to score 12. So the more kids we can get in, the better. I know Zane Spurlock's getting a few looks from some colleges. I know he's been to Xavier. I know he's going to make a trip to IU. So I think I heard Ohio State, but so he's getting a few looks. So
Great.
that's good for him.
Good programs.
Solid programs. The True
Yes.
girls are swimming over at Xavier, both of them. And so, and IU's always been a strong swimming school. And we had the Daniel Kenor kid swim there at IU a few years back. So,
Yes. Set some records, I believe.
I think he did.
Yeah.
So, well, hopefully it'll be a good season for.
I'm hoping. We're supposed to have a really good diver coming in, a little freshman kid named Quentin Jones, and they tell me he's the real deal. So we'll get a chance to see her in about a week.
Good.
So
Yeah, it won't be long. Those seasons will be getting underway. We always appreciate you stopping by and take some time. I know you're a busy guy and everything, but it's great to have you on the show.
It's all about Spartan athletics. That's all that matters. So.
We look forward to seeing you Wednesday night.
Well, I'll be there. You better. Get around to see you, but we'll be there.
You'll be there someplace.
We'll be ready to go. And, Ryan will be taking a picture of the Spartan Bowl full of that's their AD at Union County, and always sends it to his buddies and says, "This is what basketball is supposed to look like." And they always send him back a football stadium. So he's from Ohio. So
Thanks a lot, Brent.
thanks for having me.
Sam, I know we always welcome Brent and appreciate his time.
We sure did.
Thanks everybody for watching the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3.